Okay, so here's a video on probably my top 10 Nintendo 3DS games in no particular order. I got into the Nintendo 3DS back in 2014 when I was doing fly-in fly-out work. I absolutely loved it, and consequently I got into the Wii U stuff as well. I did have a massive hiatus from Nintendo. The last system that I owned, well, the first system I owned was the Super Nintendo, and I went to the N64. I didn't like it, and that was it for me for Nintendo. But I did get back into it with the 3DS, and I've loved it ever since, and it's just great to go back and play some family-friendly games. It's really cool. So like I said, this list is in no particular order. So one of my favorite games on the 3DS is Kirby Triple Deluxe. I really feel that Kirby is great on the handheld systems, and that's where these games started out on. The one that was on the Wii U, which you had to look at the tablet and you had to do the stylus, that was just ridiculous. And I do know that I think the Kirby's Yarn has been released on the 3DS, so this is a really cool game to have in a collection. Now, another game that I was a massive fan of from Sega is the Project Diva series, and I played the ones on the PlayStation Portable, and I think I got one or two on the PlayStation 3. I have to go back and check that. But the one on the 3DS, good luck trying to find it. I tell you now, this is really hard to find, but this is so adorable. It's really cool. It's got the cute little anime style of graphics on it, and it's really a lot of fun. It's very playable. It's actually more playable on the 3DS than the PSP or even PlayStation Vita this is on. But this is really cool. Like I said, good luck trying to hunt this one down. It's probably really expensive now on eBay, but out of all the games in the Project Diva series, this is my favorite on the 3DS. I absolutely love it. It's really cool. Now, Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. This is an amazing game for the 3DS. It's so great, and I've been a fan of it since the inception on the PlayStation 2. Great series. I haven't played the new ones yet, but this is a great game to have on a handheld system, believe me. Now, another game that could be really hard to get is Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. Great game. These games are way forward, just are so cool, platformer games. And again, like I said, if you're after this one, it's going to be expensive, I know, but you know, we've had Half Hero Genie, which is another game. I don't know if that one came to this system, but this is a really cool game. I do know that Limited Run did this one for the PlayStation 4 and Vita. It sold out really quick, believe you. Another great game is a Castlevania game, Mirror of Fate. Now, this game looks amazing on the 3DS in 3D. Just the backgrounds really do pop out, and it's probably one of my favorite Castlevania games behind Castlevania 4, Super Castlevania 4, which was on the Super Nintendo. That was my first introduction to the game, and I absolutely recommend this game to any Castlevania fan. Good luck tracking it down as well. These games now are getting harder to track down. The 3DS is all but finished its life cycle. I'm sure that at 2019 E3 we won't see nothing new. I think there's only one new game, and that's one of the Persona games. I think it's Persona 4 or 5, which is coming to the 3DS. And speaking of Persona, Persona Q, Shadow of the Labyrinth. This is another great game, and again, this was the first time I played a Persona game. I never played any of the previous ones. It's so great to play this on the 3DS, and another game that I can highly recommend to anybody. Now, another game that is pretty much you have to have on your 3DS is Mario Kart 7. I was a little bit worried how it would look on the 3DS. It looks really amazing. It's got so many tracks on it, and it's a Mario Kart game, and you know it's going to be incredible, and it is. It's so much fun to play. Now, when I first got into the Super Nintendo, there was two games that got me into it. One was the Super Mario World, and the other one was The Legend of Zelda Link to the Past. Now this game is in the same universe, it's the same land. It's the Legend of Zelda Link Between Worlds, which is very clever. I like what they've done in this game, the story, and just how you go from the two different realms in this game. I won't give too much away about this game. It's really cool, and like I said, it's great to go back to the Link to the Past settings in this game. It's so great, and I really do recommend this game to anybody that's a fan of The Legend of Zelda. It is so cool, and yeah, I would love to see this get ported to the Switch. It won't happen, but we can dream. Now, I never played any GameCube games, so my first introduction to Luigi's Mansion was number 2, and oh my god, this was an incredible game. And Luigi's Mansion has just been released on the recently released on the 3DS, and I've got that one. I'm playing through that one, and it's so good to go back and play this game. But this was my first introduction to Luigi's Mansion, and this one is still available. If you're into rebuilding your collection, Andrew, I know you are. You have to have this game in your collection, mate. This is the main reason why I'm doing this little video now, is just showing off some of the games that I really enjoy. So this is a great game. Get the first one. The third one's coming to the Switch soon. I'm sure we'll see an announcement at the E3 this year. Now, another game that I got into via the Super Nintendo was the Metroid and Samus's Return on the 3DS. Oh my god, how good is this? How much does it take me back to the days of the 16-bit era with the Super Nintendo version of this? And you know, the graphics look great. It's not 16-bit. It looks amazing. It does work with the Japanese amiibos, which I have. I did a previous video where I talked about that. But this is an incredible game that I can recommend to anybody that's owns a 3DS or is looking to rebuild their collection or something like that. This is a must-have. It's truly an incredible game, and I can't wait until the day we get to play a new Metroid game on the Nintendo Switch. So there is 10 games I can recommend to anybody for the Nintendo 3DS. It is kind of like my top 10, but no, not in particular order. No particular order at all. I just picked them out, and they do stand out in my mind, and they are great games. And you know, we are at the end of the cycle for the Nintendo 3DS, along with the PlayStation Vita. So it's an end of era for those systems. The Switch is pretty much a home console, a handheld system. Is that the future of gaming with Sony or Microsoft? I think they've got their own agendas, but I think the Switch has proven that you can have the best of both worlds. You can play at home, play on the go. Just the only limitations is the cartridge sizes. You know, it can't hold a game like God of War, and that's something that if Sony or Nintendo was thinking of doing in the future, they would have to address, because I think we're at that stage now where we want a home console where we can just pick it up and just take it with us. But that's my collection, my top 10 games, I guess you could say, for the 3DS. It really is a great system. There's a lot of games on it. I will be doing a full collection video on the 3DS soon. I think there's over 60 games I've got in the collection. So thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you later, guys. Bye.